You a Bryan Adams fan?
No.
When Eastern culture meets Western adventure in the world's highest mountains, expect the unexpected.
That's the most expensive ski run I've ever had in my life. Ski the Himalayas, baby!
Alright, Ski the Himalayas, brought to you by Mountain Hardware. I'm Ben Clark with Jon Miller today, and do you see that mountain out there in the distance? Well, my climbing partner Jon Miller and I, we were going up there to climb it, but now we've returned to our little base camp, if you can believe it, because there's a small incident that has occurred. It's about the size of a golf ball right now, but it's going to be about the size of a softball later. Jon, I've done something to my ankle.
Yeah.
Let's grab my sleeping bag, your sleeping bag, get you down there, and put your foot up on one of these stools.
Yeah, like the whole joint just feels...
Well, a little rice, a little rest, ice, compression, and elevation, and not a whole lot you can do in these situations other than that.
And you can bitch, but that gets you nowhere.
Yeah, it gets you nowhere. But it feels good to throw a few choice curse words out there.
I threw a rock. That was pretty nice.
Yeah. So
I can't walk downhill, and I'm having trouble walking uphill.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign that...
Time to shut it down for a moment.
Yeah. So, even though ski boots will help stabilize this when we climb, I need a day. Like, there's no way this is gonna just be fixed. All right. At least I know the moment it feels better,
We're
I'm ready to go.
It's true. We had packed up, and I don't know if you saw the previous episode, but we had packed up and we were on our way to go climb the mountain, and dude, I've got an ankle.
I still don't know what you did, Ben. All you did was step down, scream a little bit, and now we're just kind of assessing what's going on. Like, we're trying to take care of you, trying to get the swelling to go down, and trying to figure out, okay, so what's our scenario here?
And all I can think of, I am in intense pain, and I cannot understand what exactly is happening to my ankle or this expedition that I've been here and want to finish.
It is what it is. Fine, we'll deal with it. No big deal. No.
It'll be fine.
Well, maybe it was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can do is lay there.
Just the way it works out sometimes. I don't even know what I tripped over.
I think it was one of those rounded rocks in the trail. I mean,
Rollers.
There's a billion of the damn things everywhere, so there's not much you can do.
Nope.
And hell, we've both tripped like that about 50 times so far on this trip, and that one just happened to
Be with a heavy pack on.
Yeah.
There is a finite lifespan for almost anything, including ankles and ATFLs, so I have learned.
Whatever. It really, really hurt.
Since you got the swelling to go down a bit, we can give a little compression here. Compression helps keep the swelling from continuing to rise. So hopefully between that, more icing, life will be good.
We're going to keep just working it and see what happens. Once we get in the ski boot, it's going to stabilize it quite a bit, but this is a pretty significant sprain, so trying to figure out everything we can. A doctor would probably say, yeah, dude, here's some crutches, chill for a couple of weeks, but we don't really have that option. Even if we don't climb the mountain, we still have to walk out, so we have to really be vigilant. All I can do is think it's up to God and my body at this point. So hopefully those two can talk and my head doesn't get in the way. So I woke up this morning pretty sure my ankle's broken. John, Chris, everybody did a really great job trying to help me out yesterday. Went through like 8 cycles of the whole icing and 2 cycles of ibuprofen, 3 cycles of Tylenol, all this stuff to try and fix my ankle, compression wrap. And then I went to bed last night and kept the foot elevated and everything, and as I kind of moved around some, I realized it's like, boy, I can't do anything without my ankle hurting, and it hurts while I'm just laying here, which told me that on my pain threshold scale that it's more than I'm going to be able to deal with in the field with some ibuprofen and Tylenol. I'm usually not real averse to pain. I've been frostbit. I've got a bum shoulder and had sciatic nerves, pinched, things like that. So I know what pain can be like. And I've had some pretty weak ankles since I was a kid. And unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is a number 10 on the pain scale for my ankle. I can't straighten it. That's as far as it'll go. So my foot won't straighten, which makes it pretty difficult to walk or to move. And I guess there's a big bruise now. John's pointing to it right there. And that's a goose egg. That's like a baseball-sized goose egg. There's not a boot that I own that I can fit that in to hike or walk or climb in currently. So I have a feeling that that's probably the end of my climbing trip this year in the Himalayas, which is something I will definitely say I'm in total shock right now of. I still can't believe. And so with all that medical attention, not happening. So today we're going to spend some time figuring out how to extricate me from base camp, because it's looking like walking is probably not a good option.
No. And where would I have to walk, John?
We were going to go over the Amphalacha Pass, which was over 19,000 feet,
Georgie.
over ice, over rock, over snow, down the other side. Just craziness. You need 2 good ankles.
And a lot of courage.
We're going to probably have to get a chopper or something like that to get out, but we're at about 17,600 feet. That's about as high as you want a chopper to go. So I can't say I'm altogether thrilled to be hopping in a chopper at any point either. So that's that. Wish I could go. This is the first real critical sports injury I've ever had. I'm 30 years old, so I feel pretty lucky that I've made it this far without having a real big issue, but at the same time, this is a pretty expensive one for me. So I think I just want to, get the fuck out of here and figure it out. Not real happy about it, but I think I'm just going to kind of grin and bear it and see what happens and try and get myself home, and I'll come back next year. Life will go on. It's just a foot. It's my body, but at the same time, it's really disappointing. So that's how I feel. Disappointed, but glad it's here and not at 23,000 feet stuck in a crevasse with a broken leg. Once the weather broke, we figured out chopper could come in, so we'll be heading out on that this morning in about an hour. And my emotions are, I'm over it. Kind of accepted what's going on. I'm sure there'll be a moment I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night at some point somewhere and just kind of roll over in bed and go, oh, like where you just know you were so close and everything was fit and everything was right, but I guess accidents happen.
So, folks, you need to stay tuned. I don't know what's going to happen here other than that, well, you're probably going to see the reward I got for breaking my ankle, which was a killer, awesome helicopter ride and some of the most smoking hot heli footage you've ever seen from the high Himalayas. And we're going to see how it is that I finally make my way all the way over to the helipad. Not an easy thing. Do you remember that day, John?
Oh, I remember. Georgie is the man who makes all things possible, because throws you on your back and you're just laughing because you are being carried to a helipad at Baruntse Base Camp. What else are you going to do?
Nothing, except for go back and climb more, but that'll be season 3, Mustang. So, folks, stay tuned. Check out episode 11, episode 12. See what happens. See how it is we finish this series and somehow come away with a good time despite quite an adventure.
It was a true friendship.